Hello, this is going over some of my Fenders, mostly Stratocasters. This one right here is a Fender Stratocaster generic that I rebuilt from scrounging up genuine Fender parts, building a genuine Fender Stratocaster. And right next to it is a Fender Squier Stratocaster Standard, and also scrounged up all the parts to build this to be original, and the two came out. There's, I'm not a lead guitar player or electric guitar player of any sorts, but they're pretty much the same except for the pickups are different. And the cool thing that I found on these, this is the bridge of the Fender standard tremolo 6 screws. This is the Squier Standard, which has a 2-point tremolo, very similar to, not as exquisite or as good as a Floyd Rose, but it's a 2-point, so you can go down and up, but it is a bitch to set up just like a Floyd Rose. It's got to be balanced and everything so that it sits right and all that stuff. Got to play with the strings, and then once you tune it up, go to the strings and then set the intonation, go back on the strings. Oh, what a nightmare. Pain in the ass. Those of you who have Floyd Rose or similars know what a pain that is. But that's a, getting in my own light here. That's a Squier Stratocaster Standard. This one is a Fender Stratocaster. The neck is 70s. Don't know the exact because when I got it, it might have been from a music store somewhere that they had sanded off the serial numbers on the back of the neck. So I don't know what year it is, other than getting close by the color of the truss rod hole there, plug, and the writing of the decal and stuff like that, which isn't the original. That was also pretty much scuffed up and wasn't completely off, so I took it completely off and got the decals to replace what was on it, which came in a set of 2 off of the internet, but I put those on there, and that's what it had on there originally. I just, since the serial numbers were gone, I just decided I'll clean that up and make it look decent. So that's one of my Fenders. That's my only Fender Strat. Rest are my Squiers, and that's the one I showed you. That's the Squier Standard. I rebuilt that. Lighting's terrible. Locking strap thingies. Did this one all up. Nice guitar. This is another one of my Tellies. This is a Bullet Strat. Again, very similar. I know that you aficionados know all the differences. I love the color pattern on this one. The Honey Sunburst with the all black hardware. Really pretty. That one I bought new. This is another one I bought new. This is a Squier Strat Affinity. Very similar, different colors. This one's all black. Standard thing. Very similar to the Fender Strat. These have the standard Fender bridges, six screws. And I have one other. This is a real Fender. I rebuilt this one. I've got another Fender, genuine Fender, not a Squier, that I bought from my neighbor. He got it new, never played it. And yeah, genuine Fender. Okay. And here's the surprise on it. It is a Starcaster. Okay. And what I love about this one is the Fender Starcaster is a Fender, not a Squier. It's a genuine Fender. And just by the build of it, I prefer the Squiers. Okay, but it's a genuine Fender. Okay, it's not a Squier, not a Stratocaster, but it is a Fender Starcaster with the Stratocaster, everything except for the Fender look or Strat looking stuff, except for the sticker, standard Strat headstock on there. But I think that's cute. Genuine Fender. Some people say, Fenders are the best. Yeah, I got one. I got a Starcaster. And then they kind of change their story. I love being a prick. This is another Fender. This is a Fender Mustang with no strings. And if you catch it, it was built by Fender for use in the Rockstar console game and Guitar Hero. What is cool about this is it has a genuine MIDI output, and anybody interested in working with MIDI synths and doesn't know keyboard but knows guitar, this is a great cheap way of getting into it. You can pick these things up for under 50 bucks. Oftentimes brand new if somebody's got them in their warehouse and wants to get rid of them because the new version came out or whatever. I think I paid 25 bucks for this one brand new off of eBay. But that's a genuine Fender, not a Squier. No strings. It's guitar shaped and plays like a guitar. Instead of strings, you have a switch at each fret for each string. So the tracking is really great, but so your fingers will know where to go, but it takes a little getting used to. But it's a great introduction into MIDI and synths for the guitar player without spending a fortune. Which in another video I'll show you my synthesizer stuff and my other MIDI guitars. And my other from Fender Company is my Squier Telly, which is a Affinity that I picked up, and a beautiful butterscotch body. I mean, this thing is gorgeous, and sounds like a Telly, and it's sweet. Now, after I gathered up parts and everything from parts lots to be able to build or rebuild, put together, whatever you want to call it, a Squier standard Strat and a Fender Telecaster scrounging up all the real parts. Kind of had to buy lots of stuff to get it. And when I finished with these two, I had parts left over, and I said, let's build something from the parts left over. So I had a strap body, a telly neck, and a pick guard for 2 humbuckers, and I took all my parts that I had, and I had humbuckers left over from some of the Les Paul work that I'd done, and made kind of a Stratocaster, Les Paul, Telecaster hybrid that I am going to call a Telestrat. Telly, Les Paul, Stratocaster, ram them all together, you get a Telestrat. So that's my mongrel. Plays nice. Sounds like a Les Paul. Looks like a Strat there. And then you look at the headstock and you're like, well, that's not a Telly. And I had one of the, from putting the decal on the fender, I had a decal left over, so I stuck one. In fact, this I said, well, let me see how these work, and I'll stick it on this first to practice with. And the decals didn't come out. It was my first attempt. I learned my mistakes, but I put that Fender Stratocaster sticker or decal on this one, testing it out, and it's like, yeah, it's a freakazoid, it's a mongoloid, mongrel, whatever you want to call it, and that's my monstrosity. But it plays, so it's freak, but that's my collection of Fender stuff. Hope you enjoyed. Reverb did a neat article on the history of Squier and Fender, and I'm going to put a link to that article down below this vid, so that you can read that if you want. But there you have it. Whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I'm a collector of all this stuff. And you can see all my guitars, and some of them. A lot are in the other room. And people say, well, do you have so many guitars when you can't play worth a shit? And I say, well, you don't have to know how to be good in bed to buy a harem. So, take care, guys.